Did some of you know that back in '97 it was possible to find tens of rare death metal demo tapes lying scattered on Finnish highways? I'm Marcus from rockmetalbands.com, and I've been reviewing mainstream and extreme rock and metal bands most of my life. Just follow me in this video review of Nightwish's debut album, Angels Fall First. In 1997, keyboardist Tuomas Holopainen was touring with his then band, not Vindens Gret, but he also desired his acoustic project, born from the love for bands such as The Third and the Mortal, to be signed by a Finnish label. The tour bus was shared with Spinefarm Records act Babylon Horse, whose rhythm guitarist Evo Pojola was doing A&R work for them. Several demos were brought in a big bag onto the tour bus, and they were unceremoniously thrown out of the window because they lacked originality. Tuomas Holopainen was afraid that Nightwish's second demo could end like them, but it didn't happen, because first it was an acoustic project, secondly it was an original band with very interesting material, and thirdly it didn't contain any growling at all. So, among the others, the track The Carpenter became an instant favorite tune during the tour bus trips, and this led to an ink deal with the aforementioned Finnish record company. The CD version in my hands contains a 16-page booklet, 9 tracks and 4 bonus recordings, one of which is a studio track, for a total of almost 72 minutes of music. It's a special collector's edition, which contains not only the lyrics, but also autographs from the band's members on the disc, sleeve notes and messages. Of the same edition, I also reviewed Oceanborn, Nightwish's second album, which came out on the following year as a special collector's edition, and you can find the detailed review at the link shown below. And now let's pass to the visual aspect. The artwork is based on the main subject, which is a photo shot by Gary Black in Beauce, Quebec. The protagonist is a large solitary tree which was saved from its felling in a field. This photo was shot at dusk. Its main colors, like in the rest of the booklet, are magenta, orange and purple. Besides this solitary large tree, we can see a big and well-visible moon. The same photo appears in different ways and on different pages of the booklet. For instance, on one page it appears with a blurred movement effect, on another it is quite enlarged, and so forth. Still, my favorite page is the second one, because it contains a photo of the members that recorded the album in '97. So it's a half-length picture, and above we can see the faces of the members, how they look nowadays, but they are shown in a way that they look like ghosts, and on the left we can find their names and the roles inside the band. I also like the autographs on the disc and the narration that Dante Bonato from Spinefarm Records UK made about the genesis of the album. Some of the trivia I want to mention are the following. Number 1, Nightwish is the biggest and most selling band in Finland. During their career they achieved platinum, triple platinum, gold several times with their albums and singles. Number 2, despite the male members' military duties and Tarja's operatic commitments, as well as Jukka's injury at the time, Nightwish were able to record their debut album in '97, and it was dropped in only 500 copies. Then in the next re-releases more tracks were added, and in 2001 the album achieved gold status. Number 3. The demo tracks contained in this special edition were composed by Tuomas Holopainen when he was serving in the Finnish army as a clarinet player. Number 4. The Carpenter is the first single by Nightwish and the first official video by the band. It achieved number 3 in the Finnish singles charts in 1999. Number 5. On the original packaging of their debut album, it was even written Tuomas Holopainen's real home address. Number 6. Guitar player Empu also played the bass parts for the debut album for Nightwish, and only in the spring of '98 the band hired Sampo Hirvonen as an official bassist. As for the lyrical content, we can observe that all the lyrics were written by Tuomas Holopainen. Most of them are in English, some are in Finnish. The majority of them deal with love, nature, religion, fantasy, beauty. Most of them are of a Christian orientation, even if we cannot say that Nightwish are a real Christian band. Some are very far from that, like Nymphomaniac Fantasia, but the contrast is bigger if we look at what they wrote in the latest 2 albums. The latest 2 albums are based on evolution and the natural world. This is due to the fact that Tuomas has always been interested in the wilderness, vegetarianism, and the fact that he is being more and more open-minded. Tolkien and Dragonlance are 2 other major influences on this debut album too. Some words about the engineering and sound quality. The tracks were arranged with Nightwish, recorded and mixed at the Huvikeskus studio in Kite between April and September '97 by Tero Kinnunen. Then they were mastered by Mika Jusila at the Filmvox Studios, known for works with Sonata Arctica, Impaled Nazarene, Hymn, Moon Sorrow, Edguy, Nocturnal Rites, The 69 Eyes, Lordi, Sentenced, and many others. The sound quality was already excellent in '97 and it still stands the test of time nowadays. It doesn't make you yawn at all, but the remastered version luckily has been able to add an effective plus to the guitar solos in particular. It's finally time for the musical analysis. The opener Elvenpath is the only PowerSpeed metal track of the full length. Then, coupled with an official video, The Carpenter is one of the highlights of the album, and it shows a version of Nightwish that will never be heard again. Not one more time will you hear Nightwish as gothic metal as on this track. Not on this album and not in the next ones so far. Astral Romance is another popular track by our Finnish heroes. It resurfaced in 2001 as a remake with Sonata Arctica's Toni Kakko behind the microphone. The 1997 version is begun by mid-tempo gothic metal riffing ensued by fractured parts, which are in turn followed by 2 lines of acoustic guitars. It's interesting to note that the composition lacks a real chorus, and Tuomas here sings slightly off-key. He reminds me of a pirate or something from Quorthon from Bathory. A flute on a mid-tempo making me think of a ball at the court of a castle, or alternatively, a hypnotic tune in a tunnel of a pyramid during a secret ritual in honor of a semi-animal deity is what you'll find in Tutankhamen. The last track I want to mention is Lappi. Lapland, which is a track divided in 4 parts, which show a vast array of feelings. Sometimes they are very powerful, sometimes they are soft, they are very atmospherical most of the time. And this song was influenced by a trip that Tuomas took to the Arctic Circle. He was able to appreciate the wilderness and the fact that there are still virgin and contaminated territories in the north of Finland. He was able to meet Arctic owls, wolves, foxes, and he was able to drink pristine, clear water from a pond. He was able to ride a sledge driven by huskies. He was also able to meet local people who were still herding reindeers. He was also lucky to see beautiful northern lights and so on. When he came back, he wanted to tribute all this beauty we still have in few parts of the world in this wonderful song. Try listening to it when it's snowing, and you will see that the effect will be amplified nth times. In conclusion, no matter what Tuomas says about his vocals, everybody knows he's very unsatisfied with his work, while I think they are excellent most of the time and they add a lot of value to the songs. I think that it was a correct choice to record these songs because the band was already prepared for a debut album. The members were mature. There was a mix of naivety, ambition, talent. They were very inspired. You will find lots of killer tunes. There are no fillers on this album. Believe me, when you really dig into the album, you will understand that there are some bands that make 8 albums and they never come close to the emotional impact that some episodes or instants on this album have. Angels Fall First is a good blend of symphonic and gothic metal, sometimes realized in a rhapsodical way, sometimes conceived in the way some soundtracks were made in the 90s. I only regret I started listening to Nightwish from their second album Oceanborn, which you can find video reviewed at the link below. The fact is that I was advised not to buy the band's debut album because there were lots of negative reviews. I have learned that I shouldn't blindly follow what people write or say, because there are some people who just will never understand what lies in these tracks. They will never appreciate it in a whole lifetime. So even if I have made a chronological negligence, I am lucky to have appreciated late but in time this wonderful debut album. If you like this review, please hit the like button, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment in the section below. If you wish to read the complete detailed review, you will also find the link to the page on our official website. And finally, if there is a band or an artist or a specific album that you want me to review, please let me know in the comments and I will do all my best to make your dream come true. Have a great day!